Welcome to the Antonio Parkinson Project. Today we're talking about Charlamagne the God and Anderson Cooper linked up in an interview. We're going to talk about that. Trump versus Harris. Are black women being held to a higher standard? We're going to talk about that. Also, this is the first of many. A mother is suing an AI company for the death of her teenager. We're going to talk about that. And we got in the building the amazing, hot, super hot Dr. Tonya Lyons in the building, y'all. So don't go anywhere. Hit that subscribe button. We'll be right back. You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project. Welcome back to the Antonio Parkinson Project. You're watching the fastest growing visual podcast in the Memphis market. Let's give it up for that.
Say that.
Yeah, man. We went over 5 million views a few weeks ago. You know, we crossed over 6,000 subscribers on YouTube. And, you know, we've got a few thousand on all of the other platforms. And so we are growing. We just started in February, y'all. So, so that's big, man. We're excited about that. Yeah, so this segment is brought to you by Popular Mail, popularmail.com. As a matter of fact, I am wearing my Popular Mail shirt.
Nice.
Can y'all see that?
And your breast cancer pink.
You wanted to wear pink
got
today.
Your breast cancer awareness pink on.
Got that pink on. That's right. Yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff happening. Man, there's so much stuff happening. We couldn't even cover all of the things that's happening. But Kojak, I know I'm going to watch that World Series tonight. So I just want to just mention Dodgers, LA Dodgers. Right. Y'all give it up for my wonderful, wonderful co-host, Angelica Jelly Woods in the building. Hey, it ain't gonna look like this on the edited version.
Kamala Harris, she's not going back. Don't go back.
Hey, it won't look like this on the edited version, right? It'll look like I did everything I was supposed to do. Yeah. But man, thank you, Angelica. We love you, Angelica. I didn't forget about you standing to my right. I did forget about DJ Kojak because Kojak was missing last week, right?
He was.
Missing in action. Right.
But I appreciate my homie Howard Q for holding it down.
Howard Q came. Yeah, give it up for Howard Q. He came and held it down last week.
You know, it was the right topic for him. I've been knowing him a long time.
We had the cooch doctor in here. Dr. Lynette Anderson. What a great show, though. Actually, really good show.
Wonderful show.
Yes.
Man, so y'all give it up for my DJ. He's my DJ Kojak in the building. Yeah. Oh, wow. She gave him a Marshall clap. My goodness. Okay, slow clap, man. DJ Kojak. Hey, Kojak, do me a favor, man. Scratch it up 4 times for the doctor.
Here we go, for the doctor.
For the doctor. Wait. Oh, not the backspin.
Hey, that's for the doctor. That red.
Okay. Dr. Lyons. I have to ask this before I introduce you, because this is a test. Did you hear that scratch?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Give it up for it.
Make sure you shop with the
right. Good doctor. And y'all give it up for the wonderful, beautiful Dr. Tonya Lyons in the building. Yeah. All right, Dr. Lyons, thank you. It's wonderful to have you. We're excited to have you. You know, we want to talk to you a little bit about your story, a little bit about, everything that's going on. But first, we want to talk about this story. This Florida mom, she's suing character AI, Angelica.
Good old AI.
Kojak, Dr. Lyons.
Yes.
And because her son was engaging with this AI platform, and it was tied to Game of Thrones.
Wow.
And apparently, based on what's being said, he was really, really enthralled with, this AI and this chatbot character. And from what I read or what I was told, and and this, so this comes from NBC. So so we're gonna make sure that we say where our source is, because we don't want folks trying to don't come for us, come for NBC. But apparently this 14-year-old was so enthralled with this thing, and I think the bot said something like "come to me," and I guess it was interpreted as "come to me," and he took his own life.
A family is grieving after the tragic loss of a 14-year-old high school freshman. They say that young man, Sewell Setzer, took his own life back in February after an obsessive relationship with an AI chatbot. Now his mother has filed suit saying the inventors of the character AI chatbot should have known of the danger of this creation. Elizabeth Pran joins us now live with this troubling story. And Elizabeth, this is catching parents' attention everywhere because he fell in love with a Game of Thrones chatbot. That's obviously an extremely popular video game.
Very, very popular. Yeah, this story is horrific. Sewell's mom is on a mission, right? Working to prevent this from happening. In this suit, it's laid out that our 14-year-old son did fall in love with a chatbot that he created. Her name was Daenerys Targaryen. If you're familiar with Game of Thrones, she's arguably the main character in the series. And that it became a romantic obsession and he took his own life. You look at some of the language laid out in the lawsuit, basically it claims that character AI really creates AIs that feel alive. It encourages minors, quote, to spend hours per day conversing with human-like AI-generated characters. And that's what happened to Sewell. He just turned 14. His mother said that his mental health started to decline. He quit basketball. He had been playing since 5. He experienced sleep deprivation, became a recluse, only wanted to chat, and it turned romantic and sexual, and he fell in love with this chatbot. And in fact, if you look at their last messages, he said he wanted to come home to her, and she said, "Please do, sweet king." And that's when he took his own life.
And so now that mom is suing, character AI for, the death of her son.
Yeah. But I wonder how long he had to be watching that, like engaged on this bot. Like, I'm talking about like back to back. Like, how some kids just sit, they call them stations, they say they babysitting the kids. Cause a lot of moms do that. They get them games and they just let them babysit them and go get the tablet, go and get on the game. I wonder how long each day, like he was engaged in the game.
Did you have something?
Well, I'm just saying AI, back in the day, we can tell when something was fake. AI is becoming so authentic and it looks so real. Like I just made some commercials for my club, Hip Hop Lounge. And
get a plug in.
How did he segue from the story to Hip Hop Lounge?
You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
Let me finish.
Angelica, help me.
I had Snoop Dogg, I had Nicki Minaj all talking about my club.
Okay.
And they're talking about it.
Yeah.
It's AI.
Yeah.
And I put it up and it looked real.
Yeah.
So you know that's the thing.
But that's a perfect. Go ahead, Dr. Lyons. What are you about to say?
Well, I mean, I know this is going to be a precedent case because it, hasn't happened before, but we do have to assess and address our own children, daily. I know that, and sorry for the mother's loss. Truly, I am. That's one of the worst things that a parent could ever go through is the loss of a child, and I'm sure she wants to, get some type of retribution for what has happened. However, we do have to, as parents, have to take a look at ourselves and see, okay, just as my sister said here, how long was he doing this? How long did this, if he was already dealing with some psychological issues, some mental health issues, and this person became his friend, as parents, we should know that. I remember hearing my son in there playing the games and talking to other people, and I'm like, this sound like folk in my house, So I'm one of them old school mamas. I got to bust in,
Right.
What's going on, and so I think too.
So what you catch Judah doing when you bust in?
Well, he was on playing that. I'm busting in on him doing some other things,
We about to go there.
He
We about to
probably
go there real quick.
But get rid of him, man.
Leave your mama alone.
We're going there.
I'm a single mama, so the teenage boys locking them doors.
Man.
Don't like those around here.
Yeah, right. If you ain't paying no bills, don't lock no doors.
Man,
that's what Martin Luther said.
And they get emotional too. I have one, and they playing that game. They're cussing. They fighting in there.
Yeah. Be yelling.
They're really into. It's a whole world for them. You understand? They can buy cars. They got money on the game, and don't have money in real life.
Right.
So they into that.
And that becomes we used to have imaginary friends that didn't talk back to us. The imaginary friends now actually talk back.
Yeah, hold a whole conversation with
a whole conversation that would engage. So, the parents, we have to catch up, just like, the children. But with the pandemic as well, a lot of these kids that became their friend because they couldn't go outside, they couldn't go shoot basketball. So this person on the other end of this computer became their buddy that wouldn't give them COVID.
And that's what a lot of pedophiles used to use back in the days. They're
using it today.
Today.
Yeah, but they've been locking down. They've been whoever online, FBI, whoever. But a lot of pedophiles bank on that interaction and lie about their age and talk and lure kids into a park somewhere and kidnap them or do something like that.
I dropped a video in our messenger last night about these kids play Roblox, right? And there was a 38-year-old dude that showed up at this woman's house. Ooh. And her daughter's 12 gave him the address because he was her friend on Roblox. Yeah. Right? Wow. And the rat bastard had the nerve to ask this black mama, tell his black mama, no, I just came. I want to play the game with her. The fuck?
Like,
man, you don't get your ugly ass out here, man.
Right. It's called Dodge This Bullet.
Exactly. That's the game you finna play.
It's interesting, this whole story, right? Because I'm telling y'all, this is finna open up floodgates because we're in uncharted territory, right?
Yeah.
We are literally in a space like a frontier for AI. There are no rules right now, right? But I guarantee you, we're about to. These laws are about to start flying left and right about this AI. But what's going to happen on the law side of it? These AI folks are going to start hitting them elected officials with that campaign
money,
and to get them to just quiet down and shut up. Don't mind your own business.
Well, it's a Pandora's box.
It is a Pandora's box. There's great on one side of it, and then there's possibly disaster like this on the other side of it. Definitely. On the other side. So man, it's, but I like change, right? I like it. It's exciting where we're going, but it's going to be interesting to say the least. Saul, to your point too, Kojak, Saul, I got an ad about, and I was going to actually get on this app that will allow you to recreate your AI bot that looks like you and sounds like you. So then all you have to do is put in the script and you will actually be doing your own ads.
Yeah.
So the frontier, man, this thing, and just think about it. We're in the baby stages. We're in the infancy stages.
Cocaine in the 80s.
Ooh, come on, man. I don't know what they got to do with anything, but that was random as fuck. Kojak, that was random as hell. That man said cocaine in the 80s.
I got it. I caught it.
You caught it. Yeah, that's because y'all did cocaine in the 80s.
You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
So, but look, let's shift gears real quick. We got to talk about Charlamagne's interview with Anderson Cooper. Interesting. Charlamagne, whoever his publicist, whoever his team is, man, they own their shit, man. Because that man is everywhere. Man, that man is he stepped on the gas with a global, with now a global personality. But they're talking about they're talking about Kamala Harris, right?
Yeah.
And it's interesting. This has been kind of a trending topic about whether or not Kamala Harris is being held to a different standard as Donald Trump. And it's almost obvious. Run that video, Nichelle.
Donald Trump, he, for whatever you think about him, if you like him, if you hate him, he is certainly who he is. He's shown us who he is every single day.
Yeah, which is a fascist. And it's crazy because you still don't have news networks having that conversation. Like when somebody says, when somebody questions Kamala Harris's blackness or is she a DEI hire, y'all will have roundtable discussions about that, asking that question. How come you're not having roundtable discussions asking, is Donald Trump a fascist? Actually not even asking it, stating it. I mean, when you look at the things that he's talking about doing, jailing journalists, jailing his political opponents, turning the military on American citizens. The guy said he wanted to terminate the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. How come that is not the topic of discussion on networks like CNN every day?
I got to give it to Charlamagne, right? Because that shit was spot on, right? Of him challenging, these media networks, right? It's like they get scared. Or there's a directive possibly, into how we slant the news. One of the things I've been asking, we had Jeremy Pierre on the show a couple of weeks ago, and I said, man, shit, what's the responsibility though for the media outlets, for the news stations, and the role that they play on the psyche of the people of Memphis and the city of Memphis, and the role they play on the economic development as they're continually battering people mentally with death and destruction, murder, kill, murder every single day, multiple times a day. What's the difference between that and you living in a violent household or an abusive relationship where every single time you turn around, they tell you something negative about yourself.
Yeah.
Right. And, and so there has to be some ACEs that are, taking place, some adverse childhood experiences or adverse adult experiences, that are happening as we're being filled with, the fact that saying that only thing we're about is murder, murder, murder. And there's so much other good stuff that's happening and taking place in our city. But Dr. Lyons, are they holding Kamala Harris to a higher standard than what they are, Donald Trump?
They absolutely are. I think it was Van Jones that said she has to be flawless while he can be lawless.
Yeah, that was a good quote. Then he started crying.
Huh?
And then he started crying right after that.
Right.
I'm just
well,
kidding.
he does that. He does that. But no, what I saw, even as she did the town hall the other night, like they have so traumatized this woman with, misconstruing and giving misinformation about what she says that, you saw like she was almost, just traumatized. So, she, and that's what ends up happening is they will hold us to a higher standard. There is no way that if the tables were turned and he had the credentials that she has and the experience that she has, and she were in his shoes, who is you just a reality star that didn't even really have a good business. There's no way that there would even be a competition.
But don't you find it amazing that we're even having this conversation with a woman who has all of the qualifications that she has, the most qualified individual probably in the country, aside of Barack Obama, and George Bush, who has experience in being a president, right? To be president, right? And the fact that
Currently
she
vice
is,
president.
they're holding her to a higher standard than they're holding Trump to.
What's even more frightening is how close the race is. That's what frightens me more than anything. They are holding her to a higher standard, and I was heavily grieved. I was, watching some shows earlier today, and I got heavily grieved. But my grief came from the fact that, like, literally out of General Kelly's mouth, he has said, this man is a fascist.
Right.
He's dangerous.
You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
That's frightening because what's happening to America that we would want that?
Yeah.
But I think even to piggyback, not even in this position as VP Harris, Black women, period, we always got to do, we don't have no days off. Yeah. We always got to come with A game. We always have to work a little bit harder. We always have to be a step ahead. We're just on a higher. We have two. What are you gonna say? We have two barriers for us. We're women,
double minority.
We're women and Black.
Yeah.
So we always have to work twice as hard. Hers is to be seen, heard. We got to come. If a man says something, y'all probably ain't gonna fact check him. Check him. Check him. But we need to have receipts, everything. We just always have to be ready. It's just something we're
and the
used to.
sad part is we're hardest on ourselves.
Yep.
From working in the restaurant business all the way up to being a doctor. The people that I've had the hardest time with is sisters.
Yeah.
I call them pretty girl problems.
Yeah.
When and this is a reality. We are hardest on ourselves.
On the other Black women.
On other Black
That's
women.
why I tell Parkinson, y'all could just barely wash our balls and fall out the bed coming out.
What's wrong with that?
Your nails ain't got to
wrong
be
with that?
done. I'm like, how have booty scratching nails going to freedom?
Why we
The
get
freedom
through
more.
all
They're
that
going to
stuff?
zoom in the picture and you don't need no makeup. No, women critique. They said women get dressed for other women essentially.
Kojak, that's why these Black dudes are screaming bloody murder about voting for Kamala Harris because of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because they saying all we do is get up, roll out the bed, and don't even barely wash our balls.
Barely wash them.
Now we love the brothers. Come on now. We love the brothers, And,
But what about the wash balls part?
Yeah, we want clean balls.
Okay. I'm asking for a
You
friend.
want clean balls? Oh, God.
And let me do this disclaimer because y'all know that people connect me as a church girl too. So
But
the
you're still
thoughts
human,
and
right?
opinions.
Right.
Yeah, you fine.
Ain't got nothing to do with my church.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, we want them clean.
Well, damn. But look, y'all. Y'all don't go anywhere because women being held to a higher standard doesn't only apply to politics, right? And public-facing careers. You know, it can happen in relationships too. And so find out how when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Hit that subscribe button. We'll be right back. You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
Grab a backwood and roll up. Grab your cup and let pour up. They didn't want us round it first, but now they act like they know what. Hey, but they show love, yeah, we show out when we show up. I don't even do the liquor, that shit might make me throw up. But we turned up, this the after party. Shit grabbing on my body. White girl got a bottle in the club, and that going all it. Turned up in a wreck the party. We just brought out everybody. No, we got our have some fun. We at the after party.
What up, everybody? This is your boy, comedian Alfred Kainga, and you're checking out the Antonio Project. Okay, yeah, you're checking out the Antonio Parkinson Project in Memphis, Tennessee.
Do it again.
Hey, what up, everybody? This is your boy, comedian Alfred Kainga, and you're listening to the Antonio Parkinson Project in Memphis. Is that good?
You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
Boy, y'all, hey, man, if y'all could just hear the conversation
TikTok, dude.
going on between the sis. Man, shout out to our TikTok folks that following on TikTok because they getting all the conversation. They talking about flossing with hair and talking about you know porn trim.
Why are you lying?
Because she said she wanted one of them with no hair on the balls, right? And I'm like,
who said that?
Isn't that the porn cut?
Well, you said that. That's what he said.
Right, because she said she didn't want to be choking on no hair. I mean, Angelica, and then you said something about it make the man.
I did not. Are y'all serious? I'm sitting here reading my notes.
Oh, okay.
Trying to be ready, so I'm in trouble. And here you is putting words in my mouth. I tell you.
Well, damn. Hey, what's her nickname? Polly Pure Heart. That's what it is. Right.
Pure Heart.
Yeah, Polly Pure Heart with a glass of Crown over
These
there.
are all things we've heard about.
Yeah, right. Apple juice.
I've heard about.
Okay, yeah. Welcome back to the Antonio Parkinson Project. You're watching the fastest growing visual podcast in the Memphis market. Let's go. This is why, though. This is why, y'all. This is why, because we ain't scared to talk about it. I also have to say, thank Dr. Tonya Lyons for joining us, man, because we're excited to have you. She's a wonderful soul, y'all. If y'all don't know her beyond her professional life, she is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful person. And so we're excited to have her. Give it up for my wonderful co-host, Angelica Jelly Woods in the building. Give it up. Yeah. I'm telling you, Angelica over there in slow motion with that crown.
That Welch was.
I am going to Zubu and drinking apple juice.
Right.
I'm going to Zubu.
Yeah, I got you.
Sugar gonna be cookie, Mom.
Yeah. Welch's make Crown apple juice.
Yeah, apparently. Yeah,
Thank you,
she poured in the apple juice and just shook it up, right?
Oh,
that's cold blooded. That's cold move, right? That's a corner move.
Lord.
Right, yeah. Y'all, that's my DJ. Give it up for my DJ Kojak in the building. Yeah. And Angelica ain't talked to me not one time today. I'm watching this.
I'm sorry. I'm watching I'm sorry. I'll go DJ.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Last show, she was clapping up.
She was clapping up for Howard Q, man. I mean, she was like, Howard Q.
And I had him at the end.
It's the whole D&D.
You know, she tried to fire you one time before. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember
that. Yeah, man. So, look, I don't know what's going on with Angelica and Kojak, this relationship. But Dr. Tonya Lyons in the building. Give it up for you. Yeah. Oh, Kojak, look at how hard she clapped for Dr. Tonya Lyons, man. Did you see that?
Didn't we just say women have it twice hard?
Oh, boy. Well, Dr. Lyons, let's talk about your story.
Okay.
Let's get into this. And actually, let me set this up because speaking of, let me set this up. Did you hear DJ Kojak say that the last show, man? Let me set this up. And that was a growth moment for us. Yeah.
I told him keep that same energy he had this morning.
Right. Okay. So, Dr. Lyons, because your story, I think people need to hear your story. Yeah. I think you need to tell it over and over and over again because remember the first time I heard it, I told you it would help a lot of people.
Yeah,
and this was before the book.
Yeah.
This was before the book. Yeah. So so walk us through it.
A little bit about me.
Mm-hmm. Come on now.
It was a head turn.
Right.
You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
Come on now. Come on now.
It was a head turn.
Right, right, right.
It could have been about me. Well, so I am a 15-year breast cancer survivor.
Yeah, give it up for that, man. Give it up to God. Yeah, yes.
And I went through breast cancer and divorce at the same time.
Damn. Boy, that's a lot.
So I got
Wait a
diagnosed.
minute.
Yeah.
I need
Back that
people
up a
to
little
really,
bit.
really just
Yeah.
absorb what she
You
just
know that
said.
too fast. I
You
put my
went
lip gloss
through
on.
breast cancer and divorce at the same time.
Yes.
That's a lot.
So I was a former first lady of a church.
Yeah, wow.
Ma'am.
And of course, being a first lady, of course, my husband was the pastor of the church. And I got diagnosed with breast cancer April 9th of 2009. And breast cancer was a bit much for him. So he decided that he wanted a divorce. So on a Sunday morning in church,
Not so
In
much.
church?
Oh, geez.
in
I'm about to have a seat.
church,
I'm having a seat.
no, he got up and informed me that we would be getting a divorce
In church?
in church on a Sunday
Wait a
morning.
minute. Wait. In front of the
1100
congregation?
With 1,100 people
How
watching.
did that
1100?
look? Walker, I'm sorry. This is my first time hearing that part.
Yeah.
So what did that look like?
Actually, and I've talked to so many people. At that time, we had one of the largest churches, fastest growing churches in the city of Memphis. It was called Solid Rock Christian Church. And I mean, it was just, it was the place to be.
Right.
So 1,100 people sitting in the congregation. Many people thought it was a play. That's what I've heard several times. We thought y'all were joking. And I really didn't even think anything of it. He told me, bring my gray suit. He had stayed in the church for the weekend. And that wasn't unusual because, he's a pastor. So it a huge church. We had it was an apartment inside the church. He said, bring my gray suit. But when I brought the gray suit, he didn't come down. He had his armor bearer get the suit. So I was like, okay, that was strange. That was a little strange.
Okay.
But when we got out there, he got up in front of the congregation. He walked to the pulpit and kind of stumbled. And he looked back and a young lady stood up like, yeah, you better.
Oh, shit. What the?
So I'm
wait a
looking
minute.
like, what's going on? I looked back and one of his relatives tapped me on the shoulder and said, don't you move. I looked down, there was a gun in the purse.
Whoa. Now.
So
Look at
I'm like, wait a minute. I had my baby who was a year old at the time.
Wait a minute. Wait.
What was this church
Wait a
at?
minute. Wait.
You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
Wait. So a young lady tapped you on your shoulder and said, don't you move.
Don't move.
Did you know this person?
I could say who it is, but it's a
no.
relative of his.
Oh, no, okay, don't. That's all right.
And they had
One
a
of those
gun.
relatives.
Hold on. The gun.
Yeah, on top of her purse, she said, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on? So he said, and I don't know why he picked this particular news outlet, but he said, you all will be reading in Memphis Daily News that I'm about to ask my wife for a divorce.
What in the?
So I looked up and I had 21 family members that attended the church. So I looked up and saw my cousin that wasn't quite all the way saved yet.
Come on now.
And I saw him running, and he about 330
You
pounds.
call that
I saw him
saved
running
tendencies.
down the steps. I looked back and I saw my brother, and I'm like, this ain't finna be good.
What?
So I'm like, what are you doing? And I look back, and the young lady had made it to the back of the pulpit at this time. Yeah, you finna be the X. You finna be the X.
The young lady that stood up.
Yes.
Okay.
And so
No,
they
sir.
left. So they left together. Now, mind you,
Wait a minute.
Who left together?
him and the young lady.
And he had made the announcement.
Yes, he had made the announcement at this time. It was total disarray. People were grabbing their purses, leaving out, and it was just crazy.
Was she a normal?
Oh,
or was she a visitor?
I could really go deep.
But
Was she there's a visitor?
No.
Okay, she was a
No.
regular member.
you knew her?
On roll, what y'all say down here on
she
roll.
was actually employed by us. And I,
Okay,
so,
I'm
Hold on, what
okay.
stage can you hold on? Let's go back to the cancer. So at this time,
that's what I was getting ready to get to.
okay, yeah, go ahead.
So I had gone now, mind you, I had gone from a size 12 to a size 2 in 4 months.
But you shapely, baby. I don't mean no
I got
harm,
it
but
bad. I got it
no,
bad.
wait a
I
minute.
got
Nah,
it all
but you shapely is size
Bam.
2. Size 2 shit.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, with going through that. And so I'm sitting there saying, this just can't be real. So I'm battling that. Then this happens. Then the following Monday, I get a fax from an attorney that says he wants $7,500 a month alimony. And
then he wants some support.
$40,000 lump sum.
Okay.
So here I am having to battle, because I still got a 1-year-old at that time and a 6-year-old that I gotta be okay for. So the 6-year-old is actually the 21-year-old in the room.
Right.
But so I'm like, that all happened on a Sunday morning.
You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
On a Sunday morning in front of 1,100 witnesses.
Let's pause for a second. Because I need the audience and I need myself to be able to ingest it. I've heard the story, but look, it just is. It's a lot. Where were you mentally at that moment, that Sunday when this thing drops, and did you see it coming?
No, I did not see it coming at all. I did not see it coming at all. Mentally, I am always a survivor. Always a survivor. So my thought was, I got my family members here. There's my 2 children that are here. It's sink or swim right now. So a young lady had sat, and matter of fact, I just saw her mom on yesterday. A young lady sat in the congregation because they loved us so much, and she took a bottle of pills. Like she literally tried. So I'm trying to. People were calling 911 for her because she's saying, "This is my mother and father in the gospel, and I'm losing them." So she took a bottle of pills. So I'm having to care for people right then.
Even in your worst moment.
In my worst moment, size 2, bald-headed, my eyelashes and fingernails had fallen off.
2 babies.
2 children, and
front of
having to
11
try to
people.
care
For
for
another
the situation.
My goodness.
And so ambulances are coming, trying to help her and deal with that. I'm trying to, I went up to him like, "What are you doing?" And of course, then he fled. Now, he and I have had conversations since then. Of course, I finally got an apology from him just May of 2023.
Okay, hold on. You jumping too fast, too forward.
So I got too forward. Okay, let's go back to the situation.
But
yeah.
So he says this at the church in front of 1,100 people. A lady in the church is trying to kill herself.
Yes.
And you're having to care for this lady.
Care for her.
911 has been called.
Yes.
The fire department is coming.
Yeah, they ready
the church is up in array.
Yes.
What was the choir doing? The choir's like, what I got to see this
the
visually.
bulk of the people ran out. Like this is it was so crazy. Like, do we find him? Some of them said they were going to look, see if they could catch him and the girl. Some of them coming up trying to hug me.
Who was on the mic at this time?
I was.
Oh, you were on. You got on the mic.
Please, y'all. Please, let's calm down. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. What's happening back there? Because that's how
black women step up. You see,
I'm trying to find out. Like
through the.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find out. Can somebody tell me what happened back there? They said she took a bottle of pills.
Yeah, forget what he said, but you got somebody dying over here.
Yeah, like I'll deal with him later because right now we got all of these people and they're in our care, and one of them gone. So that's what happened. I was up on the mic at that point. The next day, having to actually deal with, now I'm going to have to be able to live because I know that this man is savvy. He has a master's in business. He's savvy with money.
Okay, pause right there for a second. Pause right there for a second. Pause right there. Pause right there. Let me ask this. And I know y'all are enthralled with the story, Kojak and Angelica, but y'all jump in here. So, cause look. my thing is where you were mentally, right? So the you know, that night when you're home by yourself and with the kids.
I didn't get to y'all house.
I didn't get a chance to be by myself because a lot of the people from the church just came to the house.
Gotcha. Okay.
They
It's
came
almost
to the
like a
house.
funeral.
To your house.
To my
he
house.
left the house.
Yeah, he left the house.
Mhm.
And they came to my house. What are we gonna do? What just happened? You know, just totally confused.
You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
You know, and you know, we just tried to get through the evening. One of my really close friends, she's a banker. She said, "Okay, you get it together."
Right. Yeah. Because business now.
At the end of the day, you got this $2 million house you living in, and you got 2 children. So she's like, "We need to, you know, do what we need to do.
You gotta handle the business.
So I
You
had
can
to
cry
go,
later.
Cry later.
Cry later, but we're gonna seal these
you
accounts.
automatically go into survival mode.
Yeah.
And so we went to the bank, pulled all the money out the bank.
Good job.
Left out with a duffel bag with $160,000.
In cash now? Okay.
You secured the bag. What you say? You secured the bag. Secured the bag.
Pink duffel bag.
Right.
I need all of that.
Right.
And immediately the lady from the bank said, within an hour to 2 hours, he just came.
Damn.
See, men too slow. They be too late. But
But it was my friend.
Yeah,
Like
but
she
friends
was
are
like,
friends.
let's get it together.
Yeah.
We-
Right.
You know, come on now, because we got to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's, So we had to do that the next day. Then he went, and then immediately after that, I got the fax. And it was actually a fax back then
Yeah.
that said, we're requesting $7,500 a month alimony, $504 child support, and a $40,000 lump sum.
it's like you didn't get time to breathe or process. It's like a
I'm like,
dream.
And she's going through cancer.
Yeah.
That's the
Man.
part I keep saying.
Mind you,
Man.
cancer. And that's what, because when we ended up in court, that's what the judge said. Sir, look at her. She had to walk in here with her mother and her best friend to
That
bring
said a
her
lot about
in
it.
here.
Yeah.
But you know, but
And you're an able-bodied man.
but that literally could have killed you.
It could.
Yeah.
So 5 years into my cancer journey, the oncologist said, to be honest with Dr. Schwartzberg at West Clinic, he said, Dr. Lyons, I really did not expect you to make it 5 years.
Oh, wow.
He said, I'm going to be honest
Wow.
with you. Because of the levels of stress that you were going through, I did not expect you to get to this 5-year point. And I'm 15 years in.
Come on, man. Come on, y'all. Come on, man.
So, you know, that it was a tough time. And, you know, I had to go through a transformation because I really asked God, I was like, God, what did I do wrong?
I was
Like,
gonna ask you that.
I wasn't a church girl. I married into, you know, I wasn't, you know, born and bred, you know, to be no first lady. None of that. Like, he introduced me, you know, to a relationship with God. My ex-husband did. God told me that my sin was idol worship.
Okay.
Wow.
Explain that though.
I
Explain that.
idolized him because he introduced me to God. But what God showed me was, he said, open up your blind. And in the back is a lake back there. He said, you see those diamonds? Look like diamonds flung across. Can he do that for me? He said, you see those diamonds? Can he do that for me? He said, you idolize a man. And therein lies the problem with the black church today. We idolize flawed individuals.
Oh, come on, baby. You better speak.
That, you know, stand in front of a pulpit and do all of these things, but in the end, they're only men.
And there are not no God.
They're not God.
Come on.
And
They're
you can
not
get
God.
to him just like he can get
They're
to him.
not God.
Yes, they're not
They're not
God.
God. And I said, if I had to go through all of this to say this to people, please don't idolize that person standing in the pulpit. The way God explained it to me and the revelation that I got was, the church is the bride of Christ.
He's
The bride of Christ.
The bride.
The pastor is supposed to be the best man.
okay.
Now, he said, I'm coming back for a church without spot or wrinkle. How did she get spots and wrinkles? Because the best man touched her. If you
hold
left,
on now.
if you left your wife,
Hold on.
Parkinson, if you left your wife with your best man, and you came back and stuff was on her dress, and it was wrinkled
She done
up,
got
Come back to the mic. Come back to the mic.
who she been
got-
messing with?
She done got cornhole.
See what I'm saying? Okay.
Oh,
So
geez,
that's
we
what
all
it's
gotta
that's
make
what
something wrong. Lord. Always gotta
Yeah,
make something
well.
wrong.
But that's the thing. A lot of the pastors, they are looking for glory for themselves. People start to idolize them. You didn't call me when my knee was hurting. Baby, you can pray. The veil was torn. The veil was torn down so that we got direct access to God ourselves. So I asked God, what did I do wrong? Because you did not send me through no trial like that. And I ain't do nothing.
Hold that
But
thought.
sometimes you don't do nothing.
Okay.
Now
That went over y'all head. You said she asked God what she do wrong.
But
Not her husband.
She didn't ask Angelica though.
But he showed me.
I'm a co-host. I can say what I want.
But he showed me.
Well, you said we don't do anything. But look, y'all don't go anywhere. We're gonna be right back and ask Angelica what the hell she talking about women not doing anything.
No,
so hit
that
that
ain't what I
subscribe button. We'll be
said.
right back. You're watching Antonio Parkinson Project.
It wasn't me and you together, supposed to be forever. Plus we were lit together, pop out matching Gucci sweater. It wasn't thinking telling, know when they see us they jealous. I took you through some, but you still got me through whatever. I can't answer why you won't leave. You think he better than me? No, I kept it too screen. Can't find no better than me. Mama told me say what I love. My bro say let her just be. I can't keep going back and forth. I should just let her go free. Cause if you stay then go on and on and on, trying to tell me I'm wrong, cause I did not make it home.
Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, this your boy, Pimp Type, MJG.
Yeah, man, and this your dog, Big Ball.
Y'all know what this is. This the Antonio Parkinson Project. You hear me?
You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
Welcome back to the Antonio Parkinson Project. You're watching the fastest growing visual podcast in the Memphis market. Let's give it up. Hey, and this is why, right, man? Hey, listen, man. First of all, give it up for my lovely co-host, Angelica Jelly. Man, give it up for my DJ Kojak. I ain't gonna ask you to scratch it up because I'm gonna jump right in this. Dr. Tonya Lyons in the building. Let's give it up for her.
Amazing story. It helped so many
I tried to
people.
tell y'all, man. Listen. Oh boy.
This is something else right here.
Can I just say something about this
You
comment?
can
real
say
fast?
what you want to say.
Somebody said, "Baby, where is him and that floozy at now? Are they still together?"
Okay, so what's interesting is
Is that floozy? That's a floozy, right? Somebody said, "Oh
Yeah,
gosh."
yeah.
so that was my daughter saying, "Oh God,"
Yeah.
because the person that he was with and dating, he couldn't ever marry if he wanted to.
Oh, come on.
Okay, no.
Why couldn't he marry the woman if he wanted?
She was underage.
She's a relative.
What the?
Okay,
What the
okay, I'm
fuck?
done, y'all. I gotta go to Zubu.
Wait, hold the fuck up.
Hold on, I gotta go to Zubu. You better be lying. Doc.
Wait a minute. What?
This is a church of Jerry.
Wait a minute. Right? No, this is a Lifetime story.
And married.
No, this is Tyler Perry.
Wait a minute. She's a relative and married.
And married. So the ex-husband it was her husband at the time, brings all this evidence where he sees the text messages, the emails, he goes through all of her stuff. And he tries to bring me this evidence, and I'm like, at this point, I don't even care. It's on you now, bro. You got to deal with that situation.
Yeah.
But so that's not the actual person. A lot of people think that the person that he actually married was the person that he cheated
not
with.
that person.
It's not that person, even though he did marry her 63 days after we divorced.
Okay.
Wait.
But that wasn't who he left with.
This story moves too fast for my
But most men do.
brain
They
cells.
move fast. They got to replace. They
Yeah,
don't heal. And so
And
Wait a minute.
again-
Wait a minute. Don't
okay.
walk past it,
Okay,
Angelica.
okay.
Thank you. I know your mind is moving fast because you're a woman.
yeah,
But-
as long as you know it,
He didn't marry the woman he stood up in church for.
he couldn't.
But 2 months later, he married the woman he's married to now.
The one that he's married to now, yes.
Where was this woman when he was standing up in church?
I didn't know who she was. She was not a member of the church. I had never met her before. He put a post out that several of the members started sending me of KKK. So they thought he was
KKK.
saying something. Those were her initials though. so the people were thinking that it was something with, you know, with Ku Klux Klan, and her initials were KKK. So that was her name of the person that he married. He was letting the congregation know, which again, I want to bring up these things because there is such a toxic theology in the Black church right now that, you know, it forces men to marry.
It forces women to marry too.
In order to, but they're not leading.
Well,
these men are marrying in order to control a congregation.
You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
I get you.
Yeah,
I get you.
you see what I'm
like
saying?
a married
There are other churches that have done it. There are other
pastor.
churches in this market that have done it too.
Yes,
There are
no,
other pastors.
a lot of them are doing that, whether they are gay or straight. They're marrying women. That's a whole nother subject.
They're marrying. Going down a rabbit hole. I felt us going down a rabbit hole.
They're marrying women in order to, and I didn't realize I was part of a plan.
Oh, yeah.
So it was.
I didn't realize
pre-orchestrated.
When we went through, back then it was Bishop Long that, and I guess that's another story. That was his mentor.
Oh God! Hold on! Wait!
I'm so glad I don't know.
Bishop Eddie Long. And we're going to drop a video.
Yeah.
Bishop Eddie Long. You know, he's a mega pastor in Atlanta.
I know you're talking about.
Who got?
But now, in Bishop Long's defense, Bishop Long said, "Don't divorce your wife. Don't leave that church." Bishop Long flew to Memphis to say those words to him. And then he even paid for us to go to a celebrity counselor, Dr. Gloria Morrow. She's phenomenal. But it didn't work. She supposed to.
Is this before or after the announcement?
This was after the announcement had been made, and I had let him come back.
Somebody.
Okay, hold on.
He spent the block. He spent the
That
block.
wasn't spin the block. That was something else. But yeah,
but it was church, you know. So he realized. No, what I realized at that point was he had basically run out of money. So
You fucked up.
Yeah,
It's like in Minister Society. You know you fucked up. Right? Hey, you know you fucked up.
So I let him come back, and we went out there to LA. And the actual counselor said, when I flew back to Memphis, because in there he said, "Well, I just thought she was gonna die. That's why I did what I did."
But okay,
her
that's
glasses,
diabolical.
She had her glasses on because you remember at this same time, Pastor Joseph Walker, Bishop Walker in Nashville, his wife was going through cancer as well, and she died.
Yeah,
she died.
Yeah.
He said, "I thought I was gonna be like Bishop Walker, and end up, you know, having to take you through a funeral and all that." The counselor, she had glasses on. She said, "Did you just say that out loud?" Like,
but you know, but and not in his defense, but mentally,
it was too much.
If a person is like deeply in love, and I'm not defending him. Y'all don't come for me. There's a mental thing that's taking place also with your caregivers.
You are exactly right, because what I ended up finding out in just, going through this year after year, 7 out of 10 men leave when their wife is diagnosed.
You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
I didn't say 3.
Wow, 7 out of 10.
7
Weeks
out
off.
of 10.
Weeks off.
7 out of 10 men leave. But mentally, that's a tough thing for them. And I'm not giving, by no means giving him an excuse.
Right, I understand. Yeah.
And but it was just a bit much. And he told the counselor, I just thought I thought she was gonna die, so I needed somebody for my kid.
Right. And Michelle, we do want to come to those comments too. Go ahead.
Through all this, and even in the state that you were at and that we're in now, how did you not get bitter? Because I know women who ain't been through a quarter.
Okay, and
I drop pink. I know there's probably
I have to address that.
Okay, yeah, because
it
bitterness
took me 2 years.
Okay,
it took me. I get a little teary eyed every time I say this. I thank God that He did not let me die in my hatred.
Yeah,
I hated him.
Yeah,
I hated the father of my children. For 2 years. And I don't even want to say the pastor's name because I don't want to give him credit. But he preached a sermon called "I Whip My Hair." And he talked about Samson when he lost his hair, and when his hair started to grow back, that he got his strength back. When my hair, and at that time, my hair was starting to grow back from the cancer. I had these thick curly locks that was just coming
Come on,
back,
Halle
you
Berry.
know.
Come on.
And he said as Samson's hair grew back, you know, he got his strength back.
Right.
And that Sunday I got free.
Mm.
But it was 2 years later. Had I died hating that man,
Went straight to hell.
yeah. You
No,
know,
no,
you- or
no,
just-
that's
yeah.
debatable.
or just
That's debatable. I gotta
Because
ask.
I say bitterness is a form of
Bitter-
witchcraft because
bitterness
you
is
become
terrible.
stuck. You become stuck in what it is. You have to release it because they don't
you
even
gotta,
worth
you
it.
gotta forgive, but
for
it's
you,
not that
but
simple
even
though.
more than
It's not.
that,
No, it's
I
not.
could have died.
Yeah.
Because as Dr. Morrow said, Dr. Lyons, stress is not your friend.
Right.
Going through
That's-
cancer.
that's-
When
yeah.
I flew back to Memphis from her, I hate I said her name now, but when I flew back to Memphis, she said, and I remember standing in Roadhouse on Winchester, and she said, I never counsel to leave a man.
Mm.
She said, if you ever say that I said this, she said, I'll deny it.
Oh, wow.
She said, but baby, you ain't got yourself nothing. She said, save yourself for your children. And that's how I was, even after having let him come back, that's how I was able to just let go. So when he left that next time, stay gone, brother.
Let me ask you this though. But let me ask you this.
He
Though.
left.
You know, hey, look. I had God tell me one time, don't take your ass back into something I done freed you from.
Yeah.
Because when I beat him, you gonna get some of these licks because you in the space.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Get
I
your
don't want
ass out.
nobody's
When
whooping.
they tell you to leave, get your ass out.
That's it.
So let me ask you this though. You let him back in.
Yes.
What was happening mentally that that told you to, or spiritually, that said, hey, let him back in, try to fix it?
Really? And I have the video of this. My son saying, when is daddy coming home? When is daddy coming home? He was just almost 2 years old at that.
Yeah.
I want my daddy. I want my daddy. He was sleeping in the curve of his arm. And it wasn't even for me at that point because, again, I was in hatred. You know, I hated that man, you know, but looking at my son and saying, here's another black boy. He already has a son that was his namesake that he had already left. So here's another black boy fixing to have a father that's not in the house. So the guilt of that made me say, okay.
You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
Just trying to work it out.
Let me ask you, did you blame yourself at all at that time? I mean, scan your brain and think when you let him back, did you ever tell yourself, well, maybe it was because I know the cancer, that's one thing. Maybe it was because I didn't do this, so I didn't do it. Did you blame yourself at all
Like
at that
when we
time?
blame it on sex or looks or
Oh, even better. Let me take it a step further. What was your role in the marriage not working? Do you have anything, any responsibility in the marriage not
this
working?
is what he said to me. The 13 years later, you know, he told me, I need to talk to you because he was going through his own, becoming sober and all of these different things. I did say that.
You did. You did say
and
that. I
he
really want
wanted
go
to
down that
have
rabbit hole,
a conversation with me. You know, they go through the programs and all that stuff. So that was part of. And he said, Tonya, you were a wonderful mother, a wonderful wife. He said, I spent a lot of years resenting you because every bit of work I did, people attributed it to you because you had money.
what we said was
Boy, man, ain't nothing worse
So
than a
he-
man that's jealous.
So he said, and
we
he
said ego.
admitted, and that's why I said I can deal with him now. Even not hey, how you doing? But he admitted that he was jealous of my success, even though that was the part of the plan to use my success and my money to get to build a church, basically.
Damn.
But he said he resented it because people said, you wouldn't have had none of that if it wasn't for her. And he said he would hear that all the time.
I'll be celebrating that shit. Man.
Yeah.
So,
we together.
Yeah. When the last time you gave him a little bit? When the last time you gave him a little bit?
Who tell me that? No, he didn't like sex.
What?
My daughter can't take that.
Well, he liked it enough to produce 2.
Yeah, 2. 13 years. But anyway,
I'm gonna go sit down with Rico in the corner.
Power was.
Oh, a minute.
Hey, I literally watched you grow up. So look,
Yes.
it's amazing. This is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Eddie Long.
But the Eddie Long component of it was, and that's why I said I really can applaud Bishop Long, because Bishop Long did say, don't let your marriage go.
Right.
Don't do this. He said, if you do leave, don't use the new birth name. So that's why his church was end up calling the birth, not new birth. Because Bishop Long said, if you leave your wife, if you leave your children, don't use the new birth name.
It's poor on branding.
Yes.
So, I mean, look, we ain't got to make this one salacious. It got its own legs, man.
We didn't have to go to that.
So let me ask you this. I think we got about 3 or 4 minutes.
Okay.
Let me ask you this. All right, will you marry again?
You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
It's gonna take God, Jesus, and 11 of the 12 disciples.
Yeah, Jesus got to come He got to come meet you in a dream and say, marry the man.
Out,
right?
God, Jesus, and 11 of the 12 disciples.
And is there a value to you getting married to a dude again? Hold that
Is
thought.
there value?
Michelle, don't we have video? Okay, run that video.
What can a man get from a wife that he absolutely cannot get from a girlfriend?
Mentality, permanence, covenant, favor, vows, stability, emotional and spiritual oneness, the greatest commitment between a man and a woman, anointings, principle, morality. The list can go on, baby. The list can go on, baby.
I need to hear from the men.
I think it's hard to follow that without saying some toxic. True.
Come on. Come on, Ace.
Women will give all that to a without that marriage and that ring still. And so a lot of men don't feel incentivized to go to that next level because I'm getting all those things that you just said
Can I ask you a
for
question?
free. What's up?
Don't most men require that before they say that they'll marry you, right? Because most men will say
No, that's
that
the
they
game.
need.
What happens is you allow a man to put you on layaway and you give him full benefits of you right now. You allow that man to eat at your all-you-can-eat buffet and then you say pay later if you feel like it. That's already full. I'm walking out. What the fuck I got to pay for? How many men have left you better than when they found you and you left worse? Because you poured into that man and that man didn't have to pour into you.
Tonya over here biting at the bit to jump. Okay, okay.
Another 20 minutes on here.
I have to. I'm coming from a different angle. Being someone whose net worth is over $8 million.
Say it again. Go back.
Say it for the people in the cheap seats, baby, because
Thank you. Say it again.
I really ain't gonna get the real numbers, but anyway, just say over $8. I have to be very careful with what I align myself with and what I attach myself to. It was a battle to be able to keep. I was a doctor before I met my husband, so it was a battle to not have to pay. If it had not been for a star attorney. That said, before you even go to the bank, ma'am, I need you to drop that $10,000.
Send him a shout.
But no, coming from that angle, I have to be very careful. So no, I'm not in a rush. I'm a wife regardless.
Come on.
The Bible says that he that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. So
And
she
what
was
else?
already there.
And
Wait
what
a
else?
minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. She was already there. He didn't find a woman. He didn't find a girlfriend. He found a wife. So she was already that even before he attached himself to her.
Not all women. I'm gonna argue that.
No. I said I
Okay,
am,
thank you.
man.
I'm glad. I'm about to say, because a lot of people like, I'm a find. When he find a wife, you ain't doing nothing.
No,
you
I
ain't
didn't
wife.
say that. I said I am.
You ain't
So
wife. I
I'm
got
called to be that.
we go.
I'm called to be that. But it would definitely have to be a king.
Come on now. Come on, baby.
It would.
Yeah.
It would definitely have to be a king. I can't, play little children games.
Y'all want a stepdaddy over there?
Hold on now.
Hey, but you know what?
marriage I've been talking about?
Well, look, Kelly, you ready? Look. Hey, look. Her DM finna be so lit tonight, right? After the show. But let me ask you, because here's my thing too, right? And we had, when I say in pre-meeting, we had a fierce debate about marriage and what the value is to the man, or even possibly to the woman, right? And Angelica was saying the woman is the prize. And
We are the prize.
Okay.
Well,
okay. You're the surprise, but go ahead.
Well, I think it's both. And, just the way that marriage has been watered down now. I mean, you can marry yourself almost now. It's been watered down. It's not the covenant that was originally found in Scripture. It's now a contract.
But who was married in
Contracts can be broken. Aquila and Priscilla.
Aquila and Priscilla, that sound like two women.
No,
Okay.
He just wanted to be two.
Okay.
So
But real talk though, but in Scripture, they married multiple women.
Well,
When the marriage
Old
who was married in the New
Old
Testament though? Because I don't know who was married in the New Testament.
Well, I just gave you two.
Aquila and Priscilla were married in the New Testament.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, Kodak nodding like he knows.
But the point was,
is that the only people that was married in the New Testament? Because I don't remember New Testament people being married. Who else was married?
Mary and Joseph were married.
Yeah.
Mary,
that was Jesus' parents. You know who Mary and Joseph was.
They were but okay, we ain't finna go down there. We ain't finna go down there. Yeah, because
but the point was contract versus covenant. Yes, covenants in the Old Testament, they used to take an animal and cut it in half, and the blood would drip. You would walk between that. There was no going back. Because that blood was, it was cut in half. Contracts can be signed and broken.
So now, but let me ask you this, because two questions. One, do you think marriage is a business arrangement? That's number one. And number two, that same covenant, the same lock. Do you think you can get that without being married?
You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
Can you get a covenant without being? Can you get the covenant without being married?
Can you have that relational tie? That people swear they get when they get married, and I'm not not knocking y'all folks that's married. Don't come for me.
Yeah.
But
you can have that. You just can't have it biblically.
Why not?
Because biblically, they're saying that is a covenant between a man and a woman.
But why can you not make that covenant without having that pastor? Without having that pastor and that contract.
It involves God.
Right.
It involves God.
Well, he says to follow the laws of the land.
He sure does.
So if we're following the laws of the land, the way that marriage is defined in the laws of the land, you got to sign that piece of paper. So, you don't even have to have the service.
So
you don't even have to. Once they sign that paper, the service is for your kinfolk.
So without going down the rabbit hole, but this is what I've learned about since I've been elected. That every single thing that the government is involved in is so the government can make money. Kojak, you had a question though. Kojak, you had a point you was trying to make just a second ago. Yeah, go ahead.
I was speaking about the contract. That's what I was talking about. The actual contract, signing, having the marriage license on there, getting an actual marriage license.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
My thing.
And you have to do less for a marriage license than you do for a driver's license.
Come on,
exactly.
Man.
Less.
My thing is. Because I and y'all, please, I don't know why I keep on asking for a disclaimer, y'all. I just need grace. So my thing is that a marriage to me is a spirit tie.
Yeah.
Right. And to have, this preacher, I can marry folks. I can marry folks, and I don't even have to know who you are. I don't even have to know you. Right. And to have this individual who does not know your heart, say, solemnize you and say, this is what it is now. And he has no idea that you over here looking at her bridesmaid, or she
That ain't
just
for him to know.
Well, you can
No,
you
that's
can
not
marry
true.
a
Okay.
person's
That's not-
avatar.
that's not-
Yes, you can. You can marry a person's
There you go,
avatar.
avatar.
You missed
You
it.
can marry a person's avatar. That's why the value that I held on to at one time, and again, this is no reflection on my church. This is how Tonya Lyons, who has been through this thing, feels that a person can say one thing and live another. We have so watered down marriage that there's a show called Married at First Sight.
Come on, you're right. You're right about that. You're right. And
Like
they
we
ain't
have
got-
so watered it down that they do an experiment with putting these two people together and seeing if
With
it's
compatibility.
gonna work.
Right.
But when
Yeah.
you are in covenant with someone, that's why I say, marriage is a contract, the way it's defined now.
Yeah.
But when you are truly in covenant with
That's
someone,
different though, right?
That's totally different because
Do you need the contract for that though?
you don't need a contract in order to have that tie with that individual, unless you are, trying to do it biblically. Of course, biblically they say follow the laws of the land. So again, I'll come back and say that. But good relationships,
But the laws of the land
Oprah
are
and
biblically,
Stedman have never married.
but they're married. But the laws of
They
the
are
land
married.
biblically, I
Okay.
mean,
Yeah, 30,
but the laws
40
of the
years.
but the laws of the land biblically also said slaves obey your masters.
That's
and
true.
So
That's
so
true.
so
It don't
so
matter.
that's why
Right,
that's
right.
why that's why
That's
that
what I gotta
I
say
have
about
trouble
me.
with
I
it.
believe you can have a covenant
No.
without a contract. I believe you can have a covenant without a contract. I believe you can have a covenant without a contract.
And Lord help my words. I make sure I'm saying this right. So back to the clip about what's the difference between a boyfriend and a girlfriend. The accountability when you are married is different than when you fornicate and laid up.
Why?
That's one.
Why?
I don't
I'm
know.
asking why.
That's not-
I'm asking why.
You gotta
I
ask.
was
You gotta
married
ask.
and it
Jesus.
I'm asking you.
You gotta ask Jesus.
Do you
ask
believe that?
I do believe
Why?
that.
Well, why? Tell me why.
Let me finish my point.
Okay.
though.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
The accountability is different. What comes along with marriage is different. All right. There's strength in numbers, and it's almost like God, because you have a covenant. Your marriage is in a covenant. Is God, you, and your husband.
You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
So even what her husband did to her, the accountability and the backlash he gonna receive gonna be different if your boyfriend did it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's almost like by
Yeah.
being
I
married, you have
disagree
a
with that.
benefit. You
I'm
gonna let me finish though.
okay,
There's
I
gonna be a
am gonna let you
benefit. There's a
finish.
benefit of God being involved into being married.
Yeah. That's true.
There's strength in numbers, and if you don't believe it, get married. And just like when you fornicate and laying up, don't nothing happen to you. Get married. Watch the enemy attack.
No,
See,
so
and he
let-
knows that. So
Okay,
if you don't
look,
believe it,
look
go
at
get
Michelle.
me. Go get your husband. Go get your wife.
yeah.
Test it out. Test out the
But
theory.
Now let me
Yeah.
respond.
And then watch
please.
how everything just come out. You remember the people we talking about? Oh, they want to slide in your DM. Nobody, you get a ring. Everybody just coming.
Yeah, that's true.
Because the devil knows that. He know that people like you think like that. So get married and watch how you be attacked.
Well,
Just
so-
they
so-
said
so-
you want to know the word, try the word, whatever the sign. Try it out, and you'll see. That's
So they
that's the
slide
thing,
in your
that's what it
DMs.
is.
That's what you're trying to say. But
God created covenant. Somebody said that. Thank you.
Yeah,
God created covenant.
here's-
What man did to it, it doesn't matter. Just like
Man
you put,
fucked it up.
Well,
I
yeah,
can
just
tell
like
you
you
that.
put weed here,
contract.
Man fucked
weed,
it up.
cocaine, all that. Things God put all those things here. It's we abuse what He puts here. He put food here and pork.
Yeah.
Oh, we abuse. He put them animals on the boat with Noah. We abuse those things. We do.
Okay, but here, so before you run me off with rakes and pitchforks,
I am.
Here's
Better
my-
watch out.
my-
You better
I know,
watch
right,
out,
I know.
Stu. You better watch out.
Try the spirit by the
Here's
spirit. I
my
got
slight, my respectful pushback.
Come on.
All I'm saying is that boyfriend, if he mistreated her, is going to be treated the same way as that husband that mistreated her.
No, that's not true.
Hell
That's
is the
not
same
true.
hell. What you
That's not
saying? He's going to
true.
a deeper level of hell. No,
No, I'm talking
it's-
no. God ain't gonna wait to hell. He
Yes,
gonna
he
give it
is.
to her.
If-
He
if
gonna
there-
give it
wait a
to her
minute, wait a
on
minute,
earth.
wait a
No,
minute,
you
wait a
missed
minute,
that. I
wait a
didn't
minute,
say that on earth.
Wait a minute.
On earth.
If there was covenant, if there was covenant, because I just don't believe you have to have a justice of the peace or another preacher that don't really know y'all, or whether he knows y'all or not, he don't know your hearts, to be a go-between between you and this covenant and God.
She didn't say it had to be a preacher.
But the thing about it is, the covenant is what really matters.
That's my point.
What you can take it a step further, because if you have that covenant, then the contract shouldn't be a problem. It's when you
Thank
got
you.
it's when you got the contract only that the covenant becomes
When man
a problem.
put that finger in it,
So
when man put their hand in it.
As human beings, we always want something without having to give all of to have that thing.
Right.
We all want the covenant,
Yeah.
but I just don't want the paper to have my bank account.
Yeah.
Oh, I want the covenant.
But it shouldn't be
but
a problem.
No, which one do you? It's just you gotta have. It's all or
If you
nothing.
truly,
I'm sorry.
if you truly have the
bank
covenant,
account?
the contract
I mean,
shouldn't be a
I'm
problem.
Let me ask a question.
But and you wouldn't
Okay.
when your hearts are tied together, you know, you're gonna want to, as they say, make an honest woman out of that man, out of that woman, and an honest man out of that.
Was she
you know,
dishonest before? Let me
so
ask you
all
something.
of
Owe this unto God.
Let me
Somebody
ask you
said,
something.
thank you.
But see, here's two things. One, damn, Kojak, am I in this shit by myself?
Yep, now,
But
what's
look,
up?
no,
my
don't
wife
worry.
I got
got
my
a
people,
beautiful
my cat,
But
we
look,
ready. I told y'all
the second thing is this.
got a
The second
beautiful
thing,
covenant.
and this is my last point because Michelle been wrapping us up for about 30
Yeah, I got
minutes.
Zubu, my
But
baby
look,
waiting on me.
But let me ask you this.
Uh-huh.
How much does what society says your marriage should look like, play a role in this? And we cannot not factor that in.
Yeah, society has a role in it, but at the end of the day, you're talking about two individuals making a decision. And if those two individuals' hearts are tied, see, we don't see.
I think that's what
we don't
matters.
see. I had a situation today. One of our church members, her sister-in-law died about 3 weeks ago. Her brother was married to this woman over 30 years. Within a week, the brother died. So her brother. So that's the husband and wife.
Right.
You saw hearts that were tied together like
right.
that. That's covenant.
Right. You're right.
You know,
But
so
you don't
those
need
hearts,
a preacher or justice of the peace for that.
they didn't.
That's my
They
point.
didn't need that. But and so to the point of that, the funeral home couldn't even get the money because the wife was the beneficiary, and
Gotcha.
she had died. So their hearts were so knitted together, and that's the way that God wants us when we're in relationships, when we are in covenant in a marriage, because again, we have so messed up the definition of biblical marriage.
Absolutely.
He meant for our hearts to be so tied together that one couldn't beat for the other.
But there was no
That-
government
yeah.
contract back
It
then.
was- yeah.
It was anyway.
Marry Jesus first.
And if it was just,
Lord,
if it was
marry
just
Jesus
them-
first.
if
Marry-
it was
Jesus
just
wants
them
you
jumping
marry
the
him
broom,
first.
Right.
They didn't have to sign no paper.
That's
They
my point.
jumped the
Right.
broom, and God looked
Right.
at that the same
Right.
way. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, we come up with all these rules.
Come on, and we
We
fuck it
come
up.
up with all
and we
these
messed the
rules.
whole thing up.
But the covenant, again,
It's
the
the key.
covenant is the key.
I want y'all to get married and see how you be attacked. Okay, just try it
Oh,
out.
you
Try
just
it.
tell them stop jumping in your DM, Angelica.
Just try them out. I don't get attacked by no
Lie.
DM now.
We know they jumping in your DM. Look.
Thank
But
you.
look,
Okay,
hey,
yes, okay.
Kojak, okay.
Really, Kojak?
Look, Kojak decided to jump in, right? Come on, Kojak, before Angelica had to leave.
Now, to the doctor, I want you to speak to the ladies that's going through what you went through and give them a little something,
Look at
inspiration.
Mhm.
Speak to the camera and, talk to them. Give them some advice. If they going
Advice.
through some of the stuff that you've been through. You've been through a
Your story
lot.
is incredible.
Yes. Love yourself
Ooh, come on. Key.
first. Love God, number one. Then love yourself. Marriage is not 50-50. Relationships are not 50-50. It takes 100 and 100. You need two whole people joining together. So make sure you're 100 before you try to give any of yourself to someone else.
And there you have it, y'all. You've been watching the Antonio Parkinson Project. Make sure you tune in next week. This is why we're the fastest growing visual podcast in the Memphis market. We'll see y'all next week. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. Boom.
You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
Powered by Black Market Strategies.